Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the preview show, the wrestling preview show that I do on most days, because there's wrestling on most days. I do it 3 times a week for the main shows. It's the Slate here on youtube.com/MrWarrenHayes, and I'm here to talk about WWE SmackDown tonight. Oh, we are on the road to WrestleMania, and I kind of think that everyone knows that we're on the road to WrestleMania except for the WWE. I think they don't get it. I don't think they got the memo. I don't think that. I'm looking at the preview tonight of SmackDown, right, on WWE.com. There are 2 things that have been planned out for tonight. It just blows my mind. I don't understand how anyone can be excited for WrestleMania. Look forward to? Sure. Curious? Absolutely. Anticipation? Maybe. But I don't think WWE World Wrestling Entertainment has given anyone a reason to be excited about WrestleMania this year. It is a cold as ice card, folks. And it shows in the booking. And it shows how to me they just prove it with the preview tonight. But hey, listen here. Listen. Want to take a fucking minute to say thank you for everyone who joins me here on whenever I stream on the Slate side. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining me again this evening. Our boys Imran Abbasi, good to see you. Brian Payne as well. How you doing? Trends Day Sean, good to see you too, sir. Flowman is here as well. Aaron Entertainment. Plug O is here for Wrestling Plug Inc. Cheers, everyone. And welcome so much. And I don't know if this is the first step. Maybe there's people lurking in the background right now, who aren't in the chat, aren't making their presence known, which is absolutely cool. And maybe this is the first time you're popping on. Do consider subscribing to the Mr. Warren Hayes Show challenge. We could come up with the Mr. Warren Hayes Show challenge. I don't know what that'd be. Here it is. The Mr. Warren Hayes Show challenge is to rant about Goldberg for 60 minutes while wearing glasses and an overtly colorful cap. That would be. I think that's the Mr. Warren Hayes challenge. If you want to try that. But no, yeah, subscribe to the Mr. Warren Hayes Show channel, though, if this is the first time that you're here. Or come and join us in the Discord as well. The link is in the description. Very, very fun place to come and watch wrestling. But look, first of all, I don't know if you heard, but WrestleMania is going to be on 3 nights this week. I don't know if you heard. It's going to be on 3. Turns out they're going to do. They announced this earlier this week, right? They being WWE. They announced that they are going to be doing a special WrestleMania SmackDown show, right? And you gotta wonder why, but this is what we're doing. This is it here. This is what we're doing. And on the show, there's going to be the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, where there's a bunch of people in there who have been announced, and there's just I'm gonna straight out say it. I didn't talk about it necessarily. I didn't talk about it this week on the pre-show. Not on the pre-show, on the main stream on the Mr. Warren Hayes Show proper, because it was an audience brings the topics evening, and that was a lot of fun. So there's a lot of stuff that maybe I would have spoken of in another context, but that I didn't dive into here. So the the circling back around here, Jey Uso being unceremoniously tossed into the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, notwithstanding fan favorites like Ricochet and Ali, and you got Shinsuke Nakamura in there, and that's one thing, right? But Jey Uso, who has elevated his game ever since late last summer, right? Ever since the whole thing with Roman started, he is an integral part. He is the cornerstone of Roman Reigns' heel turn. I would put money on the table, 10 Canadian rubber bucks, if we could go back in time and fiddle along a little bit with the timeline. Just goof around with it a little. And instead of having Jey Uso be the centerpiece of Roman Reigns' first heel feud, let's say we had put, I don't know, Kalisto. No, Kalisto's a bad pick. Let's say we put Kevin Owens to start off, okay? Hi, DGMC. Welcome to the chat. And Flowman, good to see you. Well, I said hello to you already. But here. So, I don't think... let's say we'd go back in time and we put Kevin Owens in Jey Uso's place. I don't think the Roman Reigns heel turn would have been as successful. I don't think it would have given it the direction that it has. Jey Uso is as critical to the success of Roman's heel turn as Roman Reigns himself, or as Paul Heyman's involvement. I think he has been critical to it. And they've been calling him Main Event Jey for a reason. Because yes, he's been main eventing SmackDown since, of course, but on top of that, he's been so good and so critical to it. So imagine you being Jey Uso, you're in the midst of the best push of your singles life. You could even say, man, even when I was in a tag team, even in my tag team, I never had it this good, kind of thing. You could definitely say that. Imagine then creative coming up to you, picking up a piece of paper and going, you are Jey Uso. Oh yeah. We don't have anything for you right now, so we're just gonna. Imagine that. It boggles my mind. Jey Uso not having a proper WrestleMania match is Mojo Rawley. Sure, toss him into the battle royal. Jackson Riker, toss him into the bin. There's people that you can argue. They're like, yeah, that's where they belong. But with the year that Jey Uso has had and the importance that he's had for that brand, for that heel turn, he's in part responsible for making Roman's turn seem amazing, incredible. I don't understand it. So we're getting that next week. A special SmackDown, a WrestleMania themed SmackDown. I don't know how you'd call it. Maybe everyone's going to be dressed in pirates. I don't know how you'd call it, really. So essentially, and then what else do you have? Here's the other thing that you have on the show. Are you ready for this? A fatal four-way for the SmackDown tag team titles, which are, of course, currently held by the Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. So I'm like, I've talked about this before. I'm like, a fatal four-way with the champions. So who are the other tag teams on SmackDown? The Street Profits, Dominic and Rey Mysterio, Chad Gable and Otis. Correct me if I'm missing anyone. I think that's it. So essentially, that fatal 4-way for the SmackDown tag titles is a showcase of the entire division. And we had this match 3 weeks ago. It wasn't a fatal 4-way, it was like an eight-man tag. But I mean, it's weird to me. So very weird to me. I don't understand it. But this is where we're at. But I'm talking about next week because we don't have much to talk about tonight. But hey, Wrestling Plug Inc., our boy Pluggo, left us a super chat. Thank you very much, Pluggo. I appreciate it. He says, Slapjack wins the Andre the Giant Battle Royal over Riot. You'd want Retribution to Riot, correct? You'd want that. And here's something. Listen, I know it's a Raw show and we're talking about SmackDown, but it's all the same company, in case you didn't know. They like to put appearances up to be, kind of like, oh yes, Raw and SmackDown are competing with each other, but no, they're not. It's the same company. Where was I going with this? I was setting something up. Under this Retribution. There we go. Since Retribution split up at Fastlane, where everyone went their separate ways, what have we been waiting for? We've been waiting for explanation, some sort of justification. We want to see these wrestlers come back without the masks and everything, but they're barely mentioning. I don't even think they've been mentioning Retribution on commentary. And then we see Ali pop up on Monday, and he's changed his gear. His gear is now like a greenish, like an ochre, is colored on his trunks, and the R flag Retribution thing is now an A instead of the R. I'm like, okay, well, I guess he's done. I guess they're done, but yeah, the only moment, the real moment where everyone is like, what's going on with Retribution? We want to know. They're the one, this is it. We're at the apex of interest for Retribution, and WWE isn't even giving us that. I'm like, you. Such a weird company, man. Slapjack wins. Do you think the Retribution guys will all try to eliminate Ali at once? Probably. I think that's the story. And then, look, you know what they should do? They should all unmask in the ring. They should all unmask in the ring. And then have whoever's going to be commentating, probably Tom Phillips, right? And have Tom say, this is where I'd lose it. I would burst out laughing and in tears. T-Bar gets into the ring and they toss out Ali. Now it's like they're free from Retribution, and he takes his mask off. And Tom Phillips goes, what? It was Dominic Dijakovic all along. And Mace takes off his mask. It's Dio Madden. How did we? What? As if it's like this. We'd never recognized them. We'd never, Shane Thorne is Slapjack. I don't know which name is worse. It would be so perfect. If you're going to go completely top notch, balls to the wall, absurd, might as well just have Tom go, was this wrestler? Ricochet, what was she called? Reckoning is on this outside, and she takes off her mask, and he's like, Mia Yim, protect your neck. Thank you for the super chat, Pluggo. We've got two things on the WWE slate tonight, and this is what makes it so depressing. This is why I started talking about. Look. I'm gonna read the copy off of WWE.com as I usually do. Today provided to us by the returning our man, our boy, the guy. We live for this dude here. Our boy, Michael Burdick. How will Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan strike back following Edge's vicious attack? After a stunning decision by WWE official Adam Pearce transformed the Universal title WrestleMania main event. Why can't I read tonight? Michael Burdick. What's wrong with me? Let me start over. After a stunning decision by WWE official Adam Pearce transformed the Universal title WrestleMania main event into a triple threat match that left Edge unhinged. How will Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan retaliate against an increasingly dangerous rated R superstar? How about they don't and they wait till the match in 2 weeks instead of just being jerks? I don't know. And look, those of you who've been wondering, is Edge really a heel? Like, I don't know. Is Edge really a heel? Let me show you something here. Give me a second. Yeah, here it is. Why isn't it showing up? That's weird. No, not that. There we go. Okay. For some reason it wasn't showing up. Now look, if you're wondering, is Edge a heel or not? You just take a look at this picture here. It's a little stretched. Yeah, let me try and give it some proportions that are closer to what Edge really looks like. Look at that. This is a man right here, folks. This is a man who is not happy. He's not pleased. And look at the sunken cheekbones. That is a definite, absolute number one signal. This man here that you cheered for just a couple of weeks ago, he's not on your side anymore. He looks sullen, is the way I would describe it. He is sullen. Like, frankly, I mean, it just goes to show you attack Daniel Bryan, even to this day, and you're like, nah, son, I ain't good with you. The audience turns on you. I kind of adhere to the theories that that adding Daniel Bryan to this match to make it a triple threat, whereas it had always been like the plan was Edge and Roman, right? And that adding Daniel Bryan was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction because people backstage were a little worried at the reaction that Edge was going to get at WrestleMania now that there was people there in the audience ready for him to come back and maybe wouldn't get the babyface reaction they wanted. Because I don't think they got what they were expecting out of Edge. I don't think it was a big ratings getter. I don't think it was a big attention grabber. And maybe Edge is a little more limited in the ring than we expected, than we thought. It's hard to say. But man, that attack that he did at Fastlane was it was weird. It was all weird. I mean, this is still one of the WrestleMania matches that I'm most looking forward to, but you know, I don't think that Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan need to strike back tonight. Like I don't know. And then the other segment, the second segment coming up, yeah, and they've been hyping this for 2 weeks, and it's happening tonight. Sami Zayn brings Logan Paul to the red carpet premiere of his documentary trailer. Sami Zayn welcomes global YouTube sensation Logan Paul to be his guest of honor for the red carpet premiere of his documentary trailer. There should be a period there, Michael Burdick. Will the paranoid master strategist finally reveal all? Finally reveal what? What does that even mean? He's not revealing all, he's revealing his trailer. What does that even... The copy doesn't even make sense. So Logan Paul is showing up tonight, and as Aaron Entertainment left a little earlier in a super chat, thank you very much, Aaron, I appreciate it. He says, why Logan Paul? No one likes him. No, they don't. And they really don't. In case Logan Paul he's a YouTuber. He's a long-time YouTuber. And he's the kind of guy who gets himself into multiple controversies. Probably his most famous, I think his most famous controversy was when he went to Japan. He went to Japan. And he, among all the ridiculous stuff, he went to that infamous suicide forest that exists, that they have there. It's a place where people just go to end it all. Quite unfortunately, it's a very, it's a very somber, very sad place. And as he's going through it, wearing a goofy hat and whatnot, he stumbles across someone who took their life, and they're hanging from a tree. And what does this guy do? He films it, which is fine. You're not live streaming, but then when you sit down to edit and put the footage together, and he's like, "Hey, let's put that out there." I was like, no. You apologize for it, but YouTubers apologize for all the egregious shit that they do, regardless. So, look, I understand why they are doing this. And it's for the exact same reason that WWE is connecting with Bad Bunny, for instance. Reaching out for another demographic. Trying to reach out to younger audiences. Because Logan Paul, his audience is quite young. When Aaron says nobody likes him, Aaron and I, we're older gentlemen. Well, I am older than, like, I'm not trying to imply that Aaron is old. That's not what I'm trying to say. But we're not teenagers. We're not in our early 20s. We've got a little experience under our neckties. Let's put it that way. So, we basically see the obnoxious, the ridiculous, the poor shit that comes out of what Logan Paul does, and we're like, we don't like him. And honestly, like, it's a little underwhelming at the same time. But I understand he has a huge following, and this again it's a thing that's not meant to speak to us as non-YouTube people, who don't necessarily watch all these big time creators, those who have millions upon millions of followers. And we end up just like we end up going shrugging our shoulders, and it's okay. You know what? If WWE wants to try and pull off gimmicks to reach out to another audience, all the more power to them. Is Logan Paul the best idea? I don't know, probably not, but he's not the worst either. There's some seriously messed up people out there that are in the public eye that WWE could have reached out to, and they didn't. Like, to an extent, and I'm being very, very serious here, to an extent, I am still surprised that they haven't done anything with George Zimmerman at this point. I sincerely and truly am. Because, That's just me. I'm still shocked. Maybe they are showing some self-awareness, you know. But that's it. This is what's happening tonight on SmackDown, folks. This is what WWE has prepared for us. Clayton Sutherland, good to see you. Welcome to the chat. Yes, they could have gotten Jake, who is absolutely worse than Logan. I will raise my glass of water to that. But this is what WWE has put together for us tonight, 2 weeks before, a week and a day before fucking WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year. That's fine. Rick Poling as well. Good to see you. Welcome to the chat. The biggest wrestling program of the year, the event. Yes, the Super Bowl of wrestling. Yes, whatever you want to call it. This is what the writer's room, this is what billions of dollars this is what you bring to the table. You bring two events, two things and neither of them are a wrestling match. We don't know what we're getting tonight on Raw as far as wrestling, on SmackDown as far as wrestling goes. We don't know. We are in a situation where we have matches coming up for a pay-per-view in a week's time, and there are people involved in big matches from SmackDown, like Big E and Apollo Crews, for instance, who aren't even on who aren't planned on the card. Cesaro and Seth Rollins, they don't have anything ready for them. Oh, they'll probably do something tonight. But what about promotion? What about getting people excited for your show or for your big show? You're supposed to get people to tune in to your Friday nights so that then in return, they will watch your big show. I keep hammering this home. Now that WWE has our money, they don't care. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They have your money. They'll put out whatever they want. And in the past 5 to 6 years, all they've been building is the WWE brand. There is one superstar in WWE, and that is WWE. It's just that simple. No one is bigger than that. There is no superstar bigger than the WWE, and this is what we're reaping. This is what we're getting. We're getting a cold as ice WrestleMania. And as I was talking about last night on the show, not that the card doesn't have interesting, fun, potentially exciting matches. That's not the point. Is that there's no hype to it. There's no excitement. It's a dead in the water pay-per-view as far as excitement goes. Are you guys necessarily blocking off your Saturday and your Sunday out of excitement? Is there something quivering inside you where you're like, man, I better put myself on DND for the entire day because I want to get my hype on. I want to get my pre-show on. I don't know anyone who is like, yeah. The reactions I get are mostly like, yeah, I'm going to watch WrestleMania. Of course I'm going to watch WrestleMania. As opposed to, man, WrestleMania. Oh my God, it is so hot. And on top of that, we only have 2 women's matches booked on this card. 3 now. I think did they add Nia Jackson? Bailey is not on the card. Charlotte is not on the card. Look who's back in charge. Look who's Bruce Pritchard, of course. Since he's, the women's role suddenly goes down with Bruce Pritchard being around. John Laurinaitis is back, hanging around town again. Look at this garbage. Look at this. And this is what we end up with. We end up with a Friday night SmackDown 1 week before WrestleMania. 2 things announced on them. 0 of them are matches. It's ridiculous. But I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. I'm going to go watch it now. I want to say hello to Dan Reed of Pro Wrestling Eve. Thanks for dropping in. I'm going to wrap it up. We're done. Let's go take a look at this shit show. I don't want to call it a shit show. I'll call it a shit show when it's done. If it was a shit show, because I am very unbiased. Good night, everybody. See you Monday.